Hello, and welcome to another round of Sarah's question time. And today's question is, Sarah, what causes burnout? So this video was inspired by a question that was asked to me by a journalist that I was speaking to the other day, who was talking about how more and more people in the workforce are burned out and was talking about long hours. Long hours is an oversimplification of what actually causes burnout. So obviously it's a factor if you are working very long hours and you are not taking care of your physical body, your mental health, etc. That is going to increase the chances that you burn out. However, there are those that do work really long hours and don't suffer the same effects of burnout as certain other people maybe working the same number of hours. So there are other factors at play here. Emotional drain is a huge factor at play. So when you are feeling drained by the people around you, so if you have fractious relationships on your team, you're having trouble with a team member, the board can't get along, you are basically struggling with the relationships that you have at work. And again, you may be experiencing this at home, and actually that's causing burnout because everything is interconnected. That level of emotional drain creates a huge toll. So it leads to exhaustion. It leads to an inability to think as rationally as logically as you would want to in a workplace. Because when you're emotionally triggered, that impairs your cognitive abilities. And that takes up an awful lot of headspace and energy. And if we can really learn to emotionally regulate ourselves well, that will have a very positive effect on the level of energy that you feel at work and in life in general. There's another very important factor that contributes to burnout, and that is a sense of meaning or purpose. So a sense that what you're doing creates a bigger impact on the company and on whoever it is that the company tends to serve. Often when executives come to work with me, they have lost that sense of meaning and purpose. So they actually have reached a stage where they don't really know why they're doing the work that they're doing. And they've lost all sense of connection with their purpose. And that, again, is something that contributes to burnout. Because when we feel a passion for something, it fuels and drives our work. So if you've heard the expression, find something you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life, it's true, because that passion will fuel you and you won't feel the effects of long hours if you are working them as much. And I want to impress that taking care of your physical and mental health is very, very important to work performance as well. But inevitably, as executives, there will be periods when you will be working very long hours. And so what you want to do is mitigate through other factors as much as possible so you don't feel that burnout. Now, again, if you're going to say to me, well, Sarah, not everyone can do work that they love, I would disagree actually with that. Because you can always choose at any point to change your career. And I've helped many people do that. But even if you are going to be working at the same job for the foreseeable future. Reconnecting with what you're doing, finding new ways and new evidence that you can show yourself that you have an impact in the work that you do, that you are connecting with your purpose in some way. So let's say, for example, you're a CFO and you thrive in making very complex information simple for lay people to understand. When you focus on that and start applying and weaving that through your work, it starts to reignite what you're doing with a renewed sense of purpose. So in an ideal world, you would be doing something fully aligned with your purpose, but even if not, you can find elements that will help you feel less of that drain. And then another thing that often contributes to burnout, which is linked into point 2 as well, repetitive or monotonous work. Again, a lot of jobs have an element of repetitiveness and monotony. If you are connected with your purpose, you won't feel the effects of that as much. But a very simple way of breaking up that monotony is bringing more elements of fun or play into your work. So thinking about how you can make more monotonous tasks fun, and that tendency towards play really activates the motivation center within the brain. So we are more able to learn and to stay motivated when we are bringing play into our work. So however you can make tasks that you see boring more fun, I would encourage you to do that. And break them up as well, so that throughout the day, you are not just focused on monotony, you are breaking it up with other things as well. That is more fun for you. So you do something monotonous, and then as a reward, maybe you go for a walk for 5-10 minutes, or have a cup of coffee, or you do a task that you find monotonous and you break it up with something that you find more interesting. So that's just some of the factors that are at play when executives are starting to feel burned out. But if you think about those 3 areas, it would be a really good start for you to start reducing that level of exhaustion that you may potentially feel at work when you're working long hours.